Hi guys, welcome to my channel Vinyl Beauty, or welcome back. I'm Debbie if you don't know me, and in today's video we're going to be playing with the Lunar Beauty Moonspell 2 palette, this beautiful palette here. I treated myself to this one and I'm so excited for it. It's my kind of colour story. I'm going to show you the shades close up and compare it to the Moonspell one, which I also own, and then I'll show you how I've created this eye look and give you some thoughts on the formula, because it is slightly different to the formula that you expect from Lunar Beauty. Not that it's bad in any way, it's just different. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on that, but first of all let's just have a look at the palette up super close. So that's all of the shades. You've got 20 shades in here, and it's a purple and red and orange colour story. It's super beautiful. In the original palette you only had 15 shades, and just as a reminder of what that looked like, that's the Moonspell one, so very similar on the packaging. And that was the shade, so you've got a row of purples, row of neutrals and row of green in there. I think I'm more about the colour story of the Moonspell 2. If you know me at all, you'll know how much I love red eyeshadow and I love purple as well. So yeah, I think I prefer the Moonspell 2's colour story. Because you've got more shades in the Moonspell 2 though, you do have a difference in size in the palette. So the Moonspell 2 is slightly larger. That's kind of messing with my OCD. I'd have kind of preferred that the palettes be the same size, if I'm honest with you, but I guess it's nice to have the additional shades, but I'm not sure it was completely necessary, and I think it could have been created down to just 15 shades and I think we would have all been happy with that. But he's changed labs, and the Moonspell 1 was produced in the US and the Moonspell 2 in China, so that you could keep the costs reasonable. So I think it's nice that we've got more shades from that perspective. So that's the palettes together in case you want to see the shades and how they compare and how the size compares there. Also, as part of my purchase, I've picked up one of the lipsticks. The only lipstick, there was 2 glosses and there was a lipstick. I'm not a gloss girl, so I picked up Hallows Eve, which is the orangey shade of lipstick. I didn't wear it for this look because I just didn't think it really suited the vibe of it, because it's a orange lipstick, but I will wear that in a future video. But before we jump into the tutorial for this look and I give you some impressions on the formula, etc., I just want to talk a little bit about my shipping experience to the UK and where you can get it, because Beauty Bay are not stocking this palette yet. I was hanging on for that because I thought it'd be cheaper to get it from Beauty Bay, but it just hasn't turned up there even now. I wasn't going to buy it from Manny's site because the shipping was $30 and I just thought that was too much. So I just thought I'll wait. If it doesn't come to the UK, then I probably just won't be able to have it. And then I saw an Instagram post from Manny saying that for whatever reason he couldn't get the palette to Beauty Bay yet. I think it might be coming at some point, but he couldn't get it there yet. So he was going to reduce the shipping to $8.50 and he was going to take care of any import duties. And that's exactly what happened. He was as good as his word. I managed to pick up the lipstick and the palette for only about £5 more than I would have paid for the palette alone on Beauty Bay. So really super happy with that, and it's great to see a brand really taking care of its UK based customers, because that just doesn't happen very often, and EU customers as well, because the deal was for EU as well. But it's just so nice to see a small brand like Manny's leading the way with customer service, and it came super quickly. He used UPS, so it was couriered rather than going USPS and coming through Royal Mail. So it took about 5 days for me to get the palette, so I'm super happy with that. So why don't we just jump into the tutorial for this look. I'll give you some impressions as I'm going along creating the look, but I will catch up with you at the end just to talk a little bit about the formula and the changes in that. It's not bad in any way, it's just different, and I'll talk about that, as I say, at the end. So I'll catch up with you after the tutorial. Okay guys, so my very first look with the Lunar Beauty Moonspell 2, just had to dip into the red. So I'm going to be trying the shade Willow today, deepen it up with some black, maybe put in that Gram shade on my lid, something like that. I haven't really decided completely how the look's going to turn out. You will have seen it in the intro. I've already primed my eyes with the Sigma eyeshadow base in Persuade, and I'm going to put black core in my waterline. It's one of the LH Cosmetics core crayons, and smudged out onto my lower lash line. So I'm quickly going to do that just as a base for the look. Just going to smudge that out a bit with a Linda Hallberg 303 brush, just to give us a bit of a dark base for the lower lash line, but I am going to put some red shadow there. Okay, so let's go in with the Willow shade. I'm going to go in with a Morphe M506. I'm just going to start packing that in my outer corner. I want to take it up fairly high towards my brow bone as well, but I want to keep this a pretty rounded shape because I am going to do a wing with it. And sometimes I just think a rounded shape works better with a wing, because then you can sort of put the wing through the rounded shape of the eyeshadow. Not getting any fallout with this shadow. It's not very kick-uppy in the pan, but it's taking a bit to build up the intensity, but that's okay. It does look like a pretty true to colour red, which is what matters. I don't mind if I have to build it up, but if the red ends up looking pink, then it's not a red for me. But this one's not too bad. This looks quite red, I think. So say I'm taking this quite high and sort of in an oval shape so that it's quite intense in the look. And then I am going to bring it through my crease once I've built up the level of pigment that I want in my outer corner. I am having to dip into the pan several times, but there's not a speck of fallout, so yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, I'm just going to start bringing that red shade through my crease now. I'm going to bring it straight across rather than angling down, so we've got plenty of lid space to play with. Bringing this down slightly towards my nose so it doesn't look like it just stops, but I don't want to bring it into my inner corner too much. Around the edges of this red here, I'm just going to take the Freya shade, so the one next to it there, just to give us a little bit of a gradient. I've gone up very high to my brow, so we're using a lot of eye space today. I'm also going to run some of that Willow shade on my lower lash line. Going to take that on a pencil brush. This is a Morphe E36, and connect up with that shape that we've got in the outer corner. I'm going to pack the red over the black first, and then we'll further blend out with that Freya shade. I want to get that nice and smoky on the lower lash line. Now I'm going to take the shade Queenie, this one here, and start building some intensity in the crease. So I'm just building that up in my crease itself. And I'm going to use some of the black for my outer V. Starting to really build some intensity in that crease. Now it's taking a lot of dips to the pan to get the pigment though. Getting there in the end, but I am having to dip back and forth. It's almost like I can't get any shadow onto the brush, so it's taking a while. But we are getting there, and it's looking nice now I've built it up. It's just taking some time. So now I'm going to take the Marie shade, the black with sparkles in the palette, and we're going to pat that in the outer V. Just pressing that into that outer corner. That's a nice black though. You can't see the sparkles now it's on the eye, but it's quite pigmented and we're not getting too much fallout, so that's good. I love how intense that's become now the black's been added. Black's my favourite at the moment for really building an intensity in a look. just going to take a bit more of Queenie just to help with this blend here. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to go in with NYX Glitter Primer and just do a half cut crease on the area that we've not covered in shadow. I'm just going to tilt my head back so I can get right into that crease. And then for my lid shade, I'm going to go in with the shade Grams. I'm going to place that next to that black. We'll probably need to blend the black with that shadow in a moment, but this is the deepest shimmer that's kind of got a red to it. I think I'm pretty much going to take that shimmer over the whole lid. I was going to fade it into something else, but it looks so pretty. Yeah, I think we'll just take that everywhere, all over the lid. I'm sort of bringing it into this area that we've left in the inner corner as well, so it sort of extend the eye a little bit there. Where the shimmer meets the matte here, just going to go back in with Queenie just to help with the transition between the two. And then I wasn't sure if I want an inner corner highlight per se, but I think I'm going to use another shimmer, so I'm going to use the shade Mildred, and I'm going to take that in this area that I've left on my lower lash line. So I'm going to pick that up on a brush and spray it. Oh, that's pretty there. Just a little glint of something on the lower lash line without it being too much of a highlight. Okay guys, so that's the look to this point. Just gonna hop off camera for a wing liner and mascara and a lip, and I'll be back with you with the finished look and to wrap up the video. Okay guys, so this is the finished look, of course. I finished it off with a big epic wing using the NYX Epic Ink Liner. I really wanted some drama in this look. And then I've gone in with a Lunar Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Witch Bitch. One of my favourites of all time, and I just thought it echoed the reds in the look perfectly. I just didn't think that Hallows Eve, the orange lipstick, would work with this look. I'll definitely use it in a future video though, but the formula of these lipsticks are so nice. They're pretty opaque, they're comfortable on the lips, they last well. I love the doe foot shape, which is an important thing for me, and I just love the packaging, like this little diamond that's in the end of them. So I was excited to add another one to my collection. I do wish it had a purple one, or I don't know, something that was a bit more fitting with the collection. Maybe a dark navy blue would have been nice. Something along those lines. He seems to concentrate more on the glosses than he does on the liquid lips, and yet I love his liquid lips so much. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But let's just talk a little bit about the eyeshadow. So I've only used a few shades, of course. So I've used the shade Willow, the red shade here. I've used Freya, I've used Marie, the black with sparkles, and Grams and Mildred. So I've only used 5 shades out of the 20. So I can't give you a review on the palette, but I can tell you my first impressions. And I would say the good thing about the formula is there's no kick up in the pan, hardly any. So when you're using a black shadow, that's a real bonus. I mean, I managed to get a lot of depth in that outer corner using that Marie shade and just zero fallout. The downside of that is you've really got to scrub your brush in the pan to try and pick up any colour payoff at all. With the red particularly, it took me a lot to build this up, but I think you will agree it's pretty stunning now it's on. So it's just a different kind of formula. I'm used to it being a little bit more powdery, a little bit more kick-uppy, a bit easier to get onto your brush. The shimmers, the Gram shade in the pan doesn't look anything special at all. On your eyes it's red but with a little bit of a pinky reflect shimmer in it. Absolutely stunning, and can't wait to dip into some of these other shimmers because that Lunar shade looks super beautiful. There's some that are topper shades, there's some that are shimmers. I love the ratio of mattes to shimmers in here as well. You've got what, 5, 6, 7 shimmers in this palette and 13 mattes, and I think that's a perfect ratio. I think there's a lot you can do with this palette because you could go quite light and airy and not necessarily Halloween based at all with these pinky shades. You could take things quite neutral. You've got a cool tone neutral and a warm tone neutral there, and you can go super deep and dark and dramatic as I've done here. So I think it's a beautiful colour story. As I say, the formula's just a little bit different. I think that's probably because of the change in labs that he's using, but it's not worse, it's just different. That's my opinion. So yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with this one. I think I'm going to do a further 2 looks in a video. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see that. I'd love to do something a little bit more neutral with it and then do something quite dramatic and purple as well. So as I say, if you're up for that, then please let me know. But I'd love to know what you thought of this look. I'd love to know as well whether you've picked up this palette or whether you're intending to. Let's chat about it in the comments. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe on your way out. And I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, guys. And I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.